Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Love and Light Show, where your special guest is Leanna. Leanna, I literally just did this right. Leanna Jane Lewis. I was like, I like to make sure everyone's name's said right, and then I just mess it up. Leanna, I know how to these words. And we're going to be talking about how you can take in your inner compass today. So, how you can get out of your ego and the negative thoughts in your head and the things that you feel like you're doing wrong, like saying someone's name wrong and just being like, oh, I'm a human being. I'm gentle and I move on with my life.
It's all good.
So how you can actually like hold yourself and be in your energy when you're not showing up the perfect way that you'd want to be doing like your meditation at the exact right time every day or your yoga or whatever. So you can be really gentle and kind to yourself. And we're going to be talking about that today. So I love that I actually did that to be like, oh, you can just be gentle and move on.
You totally can. I actually feel like a Luana today, so that's cool. I'll be your Luana, honey.
I'm like, wow, English words. Okay. Cool. So this is the Love and Light Show, where every Monday at 1 Atlantic, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific, we share different light workers, healers, badass spiritual entrepreneurs with you, so you guys can get different tips and tricks and tools and exercises and tastes of different modalities that can help you on your healing journey. So you guys can get the different inner work that you need done so you can show up as a better self for yourself. You can be the best version of yourself and then hold space for the people around you and your community. And we can all be the change we want to see in the world and create these positive ripple effects of change for everyone else that we want to affect in this beautiful life that we have. And I'm Laura McPhee. I'm a joyful goddess, a speaker, healer, and coach, and I love empowering women through self-love and care so that we can actually love who we are, so we can look at the mirror and love the person that's looking back at us and let go of the self-care excuses and let go of that negative voice that's saying that we're not good enough or smart enough or pretty enough or not enough, like letting go of all those subconscious limiting beliefs so we can actually enjoy our lives. We can live the dream happy lives we're meant to do in this life, and we can actually affect the change that we're here to make, so we can show up as a like loving being to ourselves and be a more loving wife, mother, sister, whoever, whatever titles you have on yourself, you can show up in a more loving way. And we're on the Be Live platform, so we can't see you when you just pop on. You have to say hi for us to see you, and we have 4 people on right now. So if you want to say hi to us in the comments and we can engage with you guys a little bit more, definitely feel free to comment as we go along, ask any questions that you have, and feel free to share it out if you have any other friends or loved ones who need to hear this message today so they can get into their inner compass, into their inner truth. And we're also going to talk about the importance of sisterhood. So it's so important to have a community of loved ones with you on this amazing journey that we're on. And definitely stay tuned to the end, because we're going to go through a beautiful exercise, a meditation experience with just so much love and awesomeness, and it's going to connect us to our inner self and let go of that ego voice, so that we can get the knowledge, the information that our body's trying to tell us, that our intuition's trying to tell us, and let go of that negative stuff that might be preventing us from hearing those messages on a regular basis. So we have some wavy highs. Hi, Christy. Hi, Mike. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. And Leanna, I'm saying the name right now.
Yes.
Transformational coach, a spiritual mentor, and she loves to hold space for people in her sisterhoods and also her one-on-one clients for their amazing transformations and that they can go within themselves. So thank you so much for joining today.
Yeah, so great that we connected. I don't even
Yeah.
know how it happened, but I just go, oh, cool. Like these amazing people just come into my life. And
Yeah.
I think that's what happens when you finally like own your gift, or you own your place in like that purpose, right? Because we're all here for a reason. We didn't just randomly decide to come in as humans and take on the human form. Like there's a very deep purpose why we're all here. And the second that I finally acknowledge, like, okay, I'm a light worker, like, and I can look back to my childhood and be like, I've been a light worker my whole life. So
Yes.
it's really cool that when you embody that, then the universe says, fabulous. Let's just keep putting one like piece for you to keep walking on. So, but I started this journey like really simply. I mean, you introduced me perfectly, but I'd also like to say that, you know, for those that are watching that have this niggly feeling like, I know I'm made for something bigger. Like, I know there's just something that's not happening, or like there's a missing piece or something like that. Sometimes it just starts with like a really easy question that you can ask yourself. So I always say, like, if it's not this, like, what is it? I started my business a few years ago by literally just asking the question, what would it look like to bring my yoga into the online platform? Like, what would that actually look like? Like, knowing I'm not going to like become a yoga teacher online and teach yoga like virtually. I just don't think that's actually safe, but kudos to those teachers that are doing it. It's all good. Namaste. But I knew that wasn't for me. I knew what like totally keyed me up about yoga was just like everything that's, you know, it's like an iceberg. We just see the tip, like downward dog and tree pose, but it's like, it's actually everything underneath that yoga embodies as a lifestyle, as a philosophy, as a way of being, as a teaching, as a method that really spoke deeply to me because it was an inherent part of my own healing journey. I've had to heal a number of wounds that we all have, and that we all carry with us. And I just did a live about this. Like nobody gets out of childhood like scot free. Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Does not happen. We may have been bullied, or our parents may have been fighting, or we may have grown in an alcoholic or sexual abuse, or all those things. And I just know on a very deep level that those are stories, and that we're all a collection of stories. I've learned a lot of this in the Aboriginal teachings that I was generously offered. And so all of this is to say, like, if we believe that we're collections of stories, we embody these stories on a very physical level. And so these stories that we've been imprinted, that's in our it's literally in our DNA. It's this coding that comes in, and we're either aware of it or we're waking up to it. And that's really the consciousness. That's really the collective waking up that's happening out there, which is why, like, if you feel this niggly feeling like I'm a light worker or a healer or something like that, please listen to that. Yes. Because the world really needs it, right? Would you not agree at any time?
Yeah. And we have hands. Woo.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. But here's what happens when we want to claim our passion, our purpose, our gift. This is something that I talk about in our sisterhoods. It's one of our last modules, and it's by far the most powerful. When we are on the brink of the next expansion in our life, like we're constantly expanding. So like side note, we are an embodiment of universe. And I am sure that you can you're like, yeah, I'm going to jam with this because I know what you're talking about. We are an embodiment of universe. We are creator. We are source. We are universe in human form. And because of that, we mirror that which is externally outside of us. It is also happening within us. So on a soul level, and one of my gurus always says this, Sadhguru, on a soul level, we want to be boundless, utterly boundless. We want to expand because that's what's happening in universe on a physics level. Thank you, Einstein. Like we are expanding universally. So that same desire exists within us. And what happens when we go to expand? Not good enough. Not the right time. I don't have the money.
I'm suffering.
I'm suffering. My children need me. My partner needs me. I got to stay here. So there are two guiding forces within us at any given time. We think we are very emotional beings. There's like a myriad of emotions happening at any given time. Yep. And we can actually locate these on a chart. Somebody has charted these out, vibrationally measured. And then like, here is the measurement for joy. Obviously it's not here. And here is the measurement for the lowest emotion we embody, which is shame, right? Why do you think there are so many things happening with sisterhoods and collectives of women coming together? Because there has to be a rising. Because the sheer amount of abuse on a sexual level or an emotional level or any level of abuse that women have carried for so many generations is coming to this tipping point. It's past the tipping point. Yeah. So we are rising. That's why we're rising.
Yes.
Oh, baby. So we are like constantly wanting to rise. But when we feel like we've got all these emotions, one really, really easy thing to do is to ask yourself, like, which of the two is it? It's either embodying an emotion around love that supports love, that's compassionate, caring, kind, forgiving, understanding, or it's embodying the emotion based on fear.
Right.
Which is shame, anger, rage, confusion, jealousy, compare and despair. Those are all based on fear. So when you're feeling like it's all over the place and like, I'm just an emotional hormonal mess, you can ask yourself, like, is this love or is this fear? Which one is it, right? And I know that this was something that you said we can talk about, the love and fear, and we'll get to that a little bit more, but that's the basic thing. Like, it's just one of the two. And I think for so many sisters out there, we're just done with the fear.
Yes, so true. I love that. And other people are totally loving it. So Whitley sends us hearts, and she has an amazing sisterhood online, Skypeable, if you guys haven't checked it out.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to connect. Sisters need to connect. Those that are holding space for others, we need to have more conversation together, and we need to collaborate and work together. It is essential for the rising to continue as it is.
A rising tide raises all the ships. It's so important.
Always. Yeah, always.
Yeah, totally agree.
Guide me back there, love. Guide me back. What do you
want? We can check in the people who are saying awesomeness. She said thank you for shouting her out. And Carrie was agreeing, so much ridiculous inner dialogue with that, like, not good enough as we expand. Totally true. And Bridget says, hi. Hope you're having an awesome day. We had thumbs up and all kinds of faces coming in.
Sweet.
Cool people. So, oops.
Dialogue. Should we jam off of that? Because I think that's something people come up against all the darn time.
Yes, definitely. There. I tried to hit end, hide the comment, and end the thing went up. I'm just having an interesting time here, guys. I like that you were talking about the emotional, all the things, because like I've been hormonally influenced this year as of like getting off birth control, and I feel like that's totally not talked about at all by anyone at all enough. Because I was just like, oh, I'm gonna get off birth control and like whatever, and then it's just been like, very interesting.
Yeah. I had to take myself, I had this intuitive voice. I'm so loving on myself right now for like trusting that voice when I was younger. Like, birth control wasn't for me. It's totally cool that it's for, like, it's not I just knew for me.
Right.
I went through a phase where I legit couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't even face like, I couldn't face the day. There was this like cloud, and I was like, what is going on? And I went to talk to my doctor, and I was like, this isn't, and he ended up saying, oh, well, this one's really high in this particular whatever hormone or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't good. It's not right. This isn't right. And so I ended up switching. I was fine, but eventually I just took myself off because I just knew that it just wasn't for me. So I think there's a lot of things that influence our hormones, but at the end of the day, everything that's happening within our body is in our control and is in our choice. So much of our power can be given away by being like, oh, well, if I just, let's say you've got some toxic relationships going on. If I just end those relationships, or there's stuff at work, if I just had a different job, if I just lived somewhere else, everything would be better. So we're looking at these external situations to sort out an internal problem, and that just doesn't always add up.
Right.
We can do the thing on the external and it can help the internal. Like, it's not like they're not connected, but your first and only job is to get down with this stuff, is to get down with connecting all of this. And the source of that connection, if you want to get into energy and chakras, the source of that connection, of course, is in your heart, which I'm sure you can imagine I would say. Our heart brings together the physical energy points, our root, our solar plexus, our belly chakra. Those are all of our physical being. When we're going to take action or do the thing, that's why we have that gut feeling. That's why if you're feeling, if you've got some like digestive issues and you're like, I got to go to the bathroom every 2 seconds, that's because your physical part of your energy is trying to like work and order everything else for you, and it's doing its best. So even when your body doesn't seem like it's working 100%, I just want you to know your body is in tune and in alignment at any given point. Doesn't always feel like that. I went through my own arthritis and that whole thing many years ago, and I learned a lot about it. But then you have all your spirit body up here, right? Your third eye, your crown, your throat. And then in the middle, you've got this heart. And it's holding the fort.
Yep.
Holding the fort. The first thing that develops in a fetus is the heart. It's your heartbeat. You're not even like a full human yet. And here you are with this thing that has this capacity to beat.
Yes.
Right? It's the heartbeat of Mother Earth. It's going, and it doesn't let you down. But we forget that the spaciousness of love and compassion is our saving grace. It is our point of healing. And what happens is when we miss a yoga class or we haven't meditated in a while, what is the first thing we do? We go into our not enoughness.
Yep.
Right away. Instead of, wow, that's so amazing that I recognized something that I needed to do. And now I'm going to do that. And even if I don't, just that recognition of what I need is so beautiful.
Yeah.
How much more empowering is that than this?
Amazing.
And we think, oh, everybody's like, you scroll through, you're like, oh, I have the friend Sarah Joy on my feed, and she's amazing. And she posts all these like inspirational, like she's making celery juice and pear juice. And I'm like, oh, I'm not really doing that. I'm like, hold up there, yo. Don't go into that.
Yeah.
So one of the like key tools I give every single, like, because I'll work with one-on-one clients, I'll work with women in sisterhoods, and every single time I always go back to this. It's something that my own relationship coaches gave me and my husband, and it's really a very quick self-forgiveness tool that you could use right away. So I'll share this with those that are watching. And if any of my friends are watching, they'll be like, yeah, I knew she was going to say this one. All the time. The second that you notice this, I'm beating myself up, I'm not having a thought. Like first you have to be able to be in the witness and the recognition point.
Yes.
You're able to be able to see yourself. This is why mindfulness and awareness is so important. This is part of the waking up. We have to be able to see ourselves and understand what we're doing. We have to see it, recognize it. So the second you've got, so let's use your example of when my name was Leanna at the beginning.
Yeah. I thought the Lewis was what I was going to be like. Is that it? I'm just like,
yeah, but like you've got the tool within you, self-forgiveness right away. And we need this. It's like we need to be flossing our teeth and brushing our teeth every day. We need to be forgiving ourselves multiple times a day, multiple times. And the second we start flexing that muscle, it literally energetically shifts things in our body. And we can literally feel this spaciousness of the heart opening to take more of the energetic recognition of trying to order everything, because it's all ordered here. The second that we forget that, we're trying to move it with our mind. We're trying to move it with our body. So we're exercising, but it really gets moved and shifted. All the healing is always in your heart. So one really easy tool, and go and if you've got something to write this down, anybody who's watching, write this down. I don't want you to forget. And if you're like, oh, I forget what you said,
hey, get your pen.
Yeah, get your pen. If you forget, then send us a message and we'll sort you out. But the tool is really easy. So even though you always start that sentence, it's best to say it out loud, activate this throat chakra. When you say something out loud, it emits a different frequency and it allows the shift to happen. You say it out loud and it's going to feel really weird for people that are not into self-love and all that stuff. They'll be like, oh God, this feels weird. Even though fill in the blank, whatever it is that you did or something that you felt or whatever. So your case, even though I said Leanna's name wrong. So even though I mixed up the name at the beginning and it's so embarrassing and I still deeply love and respect myself.
Love that.
Even though I woke up and was grumpy with my 4-year-old who was sick, I still deeply love and respect myself. Even though my daughter's supposed to be homesick today, but I took her into school because I was like, I got work to do. I still deeply love and respect myself, because you have to forgive yourself in the moment as it's happening so that you can start shifting that energy. It's like a non-negotiable. It's a really simple tool.
I love that. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
And people got their pens. They're loving it. You're deeply
Yeah.
expressive. Love the conversation between the two of you. Lots new. Very cool.
Cool. Yeah, but that's
Awesome.
it. Always the heart. Oh, it always comes back to kindness and forgiveness.
Yeah. And then Christy was agreeing earlier, you're centered, the theme of my day. So I love that this is resonating with you.
Yeah.
Lots of people were like, well said. And I agree. I could never take the stuff. Oh yeah, that was from earlier about the birth
Yeah.
control, hormones and moods and all that stuff.
But there are things that are affecting our hormonal balance and our moods at any given point.
Definitely.
So there's always going to be things that can shift, but but to be honest with you, if I think back to every single client I've ever worked with, every single sister that's come into my circle, at the heart of it is the love, is the self-love, the self-forgiveness, and this radical ability to say, I'm okay as I am and I don't need fixing.
Yes. I love that.
I just want to rise and I want to expand. Those are two very different things. Rising is rising, expanding is expanding, fixing is staying where you are and trying to imagine that that's going to do the thing.
Right.
When that's not going to do the thing, that's going to keep you where you are, thinking that you're fixing things. It's a huge gap that people have. They're like, but I don't know how to fix it. Stop fixing it, start loving it, and start believing that your capacity as a human in this world is to raise your vibration, is to rise. You're still going to feel this.
Yep.
Life is this. This is life. Stop trying to fight that.
The cycle.
The cycle. The moon has the sun has a cycle. We have a cycle within our bodies if we're women and we have our periods. Like everything is in flow. All we're looking to do as we join these sisterhoods and sorry, there was a bug on me. I have these weird bugs in my office. They're just in here because it's cold outside. It's all good. They have a home here.
I love this love so much.
Yeah. But what we're looking to do, right, is we're looking to understand that this is okay. So stop freaking out when you're down here, like as if you're never going to rise again. Girl, you've been rising your whole damn life. Just you're going to keep rising. So drop the story that, yo, crap, it's not good. I'm not down here. I'm low vibes. I'm not fun to be around. I'm yucky and icky.
Yeah.
No need for that. You know, even though I'm down and I feel yucky, I still deeply love and respect myself. So you know you're going to rise, but here's this is the work I do, is to say, let's take that rising point higher.
Yeah.
So the dip doesn't feel so low and the rise feels higher. So let's imagine that this pen is sort of the state of this homeostasis. It's the state that it's a line that we can understand when we're down here, we're in those lower vibrations. No judgment. It's all good. This is just where they are. Yeah. What you're looking to do now is not feel like you're just making it and eking it. You're not living paycheck to paycheck spiritually. Right.
Yeah.
You have an abundance of joy because you've hit that joyful point.
Yes. You can have an overflowing cup instead of like being at 10%, 10%, 0, 10%, 0. It's like, that's not healthy.
Yeah. And what I've noticed lately, now this is just me, and I'm very transparent, as I'm sure you can imagine. What I've noticed is that what pains me and I'm energetically taking on, so I've got to keep up my energy work, do a flushing, and I'm sure you have to go through this, is that because I extend myself out and welcome all women in all parts of their journey, I meet many women who are really struggling down here. And it's very hard for me to not get into convincing mode. Right. Of like, I have a path for you or like a possible solution to your problem. And so then I start coming out of light worker mode and into savior mode. Right. And that's just not how it works. It's energetically like off-putting. So if you are a light worker, be conscious of how are you showing up, and is it from a place of spacious compassion and love, or is it from a place of, I have something to fix you, or I have like, just, I want you to get better. I want you to be good. I want you to, it's so good to have that. But I've noticed that it can swing to the other side where you're coming at someone as though you have a solution to a problem because they're broken.
Yeah.
And that's just not true.
Right. And I know at the beginning of my journey, when I was starting to get the help for myself, I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to like tell my mom and my grandmother and like all the people, like read this
Yeah.
book. Let's not be codependent in toxic relationships, guys. Like, and it's like, no.
It's your journey, man.
My journey. To do my inner work and shine my light. And then if you happen to come ask me a question, then I can share.
Yes. There's something about like that permission or that like door to be open, right?
Yes.
It's always available. But I would say to those that are sort of like, I don't know where I'm at. I'm not sure how to fix it. Like, oh, you know, that we're always in that place for one reason or the other. Like I'm in that place when it comes to certain parts of my business. So that's why I've hired my own mentor who holds these sisterhoods so that I can rise and up level myself. And it's amazing. But, you know, to be aware of like, and I was doing this on the live this morning, like, what are you committed to more? Are you committed to staying the same and the toxic, stressful cycle that we go through? Or are we committed to like breaking through the shell of fear that's going to want to stop us every time we try to get better?
Yep.
And are you actually going to go do that thing? And it doesn't mean like, are you going to sign up for my sisterhood or like work with you or whatever? It's like, but you've got to do something. You have to take the desire.
Your inner voice is telling you, do that thing.
Just do it. Like buy the book, get the online course, you know, sign up with that mentor, like just do something about it because nothing changes if we just sit and think positive thoughts. It actually requires our energetic being to go do the thing. And you're going to feel like nauseous, like, oh God, I've worked with this mentor and I'm signing up with her again. And still I picked up my card and I was like, oh God, I'm spending money. And I'm like, oh no, this feels great. And like, just do the thing, you know?
Definitely. Christy said, tell me if you believe this. My partner said women go up and down and flow like waves. Just what you were saying. However, his belief, it's the man job to stay balanced, neutral, and to keep his partner and kids home, coming back to the center and balance as they will go up and down naturally.
Yeah, great question, Christy. And yes, I do believe parts of what you're saying 100%. It's the masculine and feminine energy that you're talking about. And this isn't a man-woman thing. This is just an energetic being thing. So just to keep that, like, I'm not going to use gender neutral language for the purposes of I'm talking about male embodiment and the female embodiment is the creative, right? It's the creative and it's the flow, and the man's is more a very masculine energy of like action and so it's your what I believe. Remember when I was talking about the energy chakras, right? So you've got the creative and spirit. Let's just call that feminine for the sake of this conversation. And then you have the more masculine, the physical beingness, right? When we want to bring those together effectively, we're always meeting in a spaciousness of love and compassion, right? Always. So the man can still hold a place of not neutrality. Men are not meant to be neutral. They're not meant to be, you know, stoic rock beings of non-thinking judgment emotion. But they're there to hold a place when feminine energy wants to have a conversation, a place to connect, a woman just needs to feel safe that it's okay to be this or to feel this or to embody this. And the man's job is to hold space for that flow to occur. And vice versa, the woman's job is also to allow the man to feel safe holding that space. But it's not, they're just two different roles. And this is also not necessarily embodied in all female-male relationships or male and male or female and female. Like it's not, but you'll know that's very much how my husband and I attempt, not always successfully, but we attempt to be meeting in the middle on love. Not always successful. Point that out. We've had relationship coaches. We've been married for going on 7 years.
Awesome.
And still, my God, we were so good 20 seconds ago.
Yeah. And I can speak to that from like past relationships where it's like, yeah, it's awesome when it's like, woo, and the guy can just hold space incredibly, but also guys have cycles that they go through in different times where they're growing and expanding and they need the woman to hold space. So it's like, what roles do you guys have in your relationship and the level of vulnerability you have and how open your communication is and when you can be like, hey, I need you to do this for me right now. And then you show.
Yes. That's it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christy, yes, we're trying. Yes, we try the same. And yes, it's funny. Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. This awesome conversation. Yeah, we have so much stuff that we're saying, and I'm like, we need to stay in the flow of the things that we wanted to tell people. So, in that energy, did you want to talk a little bit more about the fear voice and the love voice and the distinction between that?
Yeah. So we're going to bump up against life all the time. Like sometimes they're bigger events than others. Sometimes it's just day-to-day stuff. Like I ran out of coffee, like first world problems, right? Or, you know, I feel like a failure of a mom today or something. Like we're going to bump up against life. And what's going to happen is we're going to have emotional reactions. We might feel them more in our mind, which is causing the emotional reaction, or feel them on a gut level, which then gets the mind going. But either way, they're going to be located in one of the two places or both simultaneously. But what's going to happen is we're going to start to notice that same movie playing again, that mental mind chatter, and we're going to feel it. And when you are looking to clarify it or bring it into focus so that you can move through it, because the only way through it is through it, is to ask yourself, what does love have to say here? What is it that love needs to say about this particular experience or feeling or story I have? And listen to what that is and allow it to be a place of compassion and care and empathy for yourself and giving yourself permission. And then what does the fear have to say about this? Because the fear is telling you what the portal of healing is that you're being asked to go on. Because if it was just love speaking, you'd be like, this is all great.
That'd be wonderful if love was just talking 24/7 nonstop.
Yeah, nothing. I don't need to do anything here because love says it's all good, girl. But it doesn't, it's not always going to be that. So I'll give you a concrete example because I think that's really how we process like concrete examples. So for the first time, this coming month is a big one in my business. I got a lot of things on the go. There's just a lot of balls in the air, but it's great. I've been running local yoga classes in my town for about four years now. And in the last like 3 years or so, like I don't have to worry about the classes filling up. Like everybody knows me, like they just fill up. And it's this like effortless part of my business. Beautiful. And for the first time, I have to say we're going to postpone this because I didn't get enough signups. Now, I also didn't do a bunch of the work necessary for all the signups to come in, but I knew that if I just put it out there, if it was meant to be, it would happen. And a part of me was like, okay, no problem. Like it's going to happen. And it didn't. Huge fear came up. So like, it's like, oh, well, if I can't do like this really easy thing in my business and it's failing, what does that say about everything else? Everything else is going to fall apart. Like there was ego that was like, you're not good enough. People don't want to come out. Like, so the, the fear part is bigger and louder. So I need to listen to that first. And I need to ask myself, like, what is the fear? And that's what it's saying. It's saying like, if this doesn't work, what if everything else in your business doesn't work? So I need to address that because I need to start being able to witness when is that idea carrying over to all these other new programs that I'm starting. Like I'm launching my next sisterhood, which starts next week. That voice of fear around my yoga class is the same voice that's going to be like, don't have enough signups yet. Is it going to happen? And I have to acknowledge that voice because we all have a little girl or a little boy within us, our inner child. And sometimes they get scared and they need, that little girl's like, this is just like the time that nobody came to your birthday party.
Right.
This is just like the time that your friend gave this weird reason why she couldn't come over to your house. She didn't like you.
Right.
Those are like emotional codes in my body. I remember those. I remember them so deeply. So that's what's showing up. And I only know that because I asked the fear, what do you have to tell me? What is it that I need to know? And then flipping over to like, what does the love and compassion have to say? And in this particular concrete example is that it's okay this was your way of making sure that you were taken care of and you didn't overextend yourself. Remember that we're learning the art of saying no, and we're learning the art of sacred boundaries so that you can be physically okay. Because here's the really crazy part. Like the second that I was like, okay, I've got this, this, and this, and the yoga classes, I felt like energetically, like my hands stopped moving properly. Like I was seizing up, and it was like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to do this next round of yoga. I want to, but I don't think I'm meant to do it.
Right.
So in this case,
for the new things.
and yeah, or like the nothingness, like maybe just some space, right? There doesn't have to be a filling point. It's just a space, right? So in this case, like both of them have valuable information so that I can continue shifting, moving forward, and going through that bump up against life that I just went through. So for those that are listening, like think about something that just sort of jolted you in the last 24 hours or the last week or the last month. It could be like a big event that happened like months ago. But within that event, like stuff is going to come up for you, and it's going to be fear talking and love. And you need to listen to both of them.
Definitely. Yeah. I love that. So definitely put in the comments if you guys have any ideas of what that big event for you was. We'd love to hear your awarenesses. And it's like awesome to have that awareness. Like that's a big thing that I always celebrate with my clients. It's like, if you didn't do the thing, you were aware that you didn't do the thing. So like, be like, hey, awareness is so important. So celebrate that awareness.
Just that is like enough. We think we have to do like, I think there's this like spiritual like scarcity mindset. Like you're not doing enough healing. You gotta just take the course, read the book, Like, no, please don't do that. Cause then you're just like redoing the problem in your own self-development, and that's gonna backfire. Pick one or two things you do.
Yeah. Just your next step. That's it. Your next step, not someone else's, your sister's, your best friend's next step, your next step.
Yes.
So if your next step is meditation, definitely join us for this beautiful meditation. Take time for yourself. I know I'm guilty of like listening to things in the background as I like work and be productive and do other stuff sometimes. So give yourself this gift of the next like 5-ish minutes of this meditation to connect inward. We're going to let go of that ego voice. We're going to get the information that your body needs to tell you so you can connect within to that inner guidance, your body knowledge, and you can take it away.
Oh, I'm like watching myself online. This is creepy. I was going to turn my stopwatch, but I'm going to trust my inner compass.
Trust it. We can go.
I'm going to do, well, I'll keep it in a reasonable timeline, because I actually think sometimes less is more when it comes to like the meditation. So one thing I tell my sisters is, just learn the art of sitting quietly with yourself. Learn the art of being alone for like 1 or 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be this long thing, because just that alone, and that means like no guided meditation, no music, no, just be. So we'll do that because that'll be awkward. Okay, meditation.
For anyone who's just joining in, it's just quiet for 8 minutes.
But that is a really, really valuable skill. Is like, that's actually a really good gauging point. How am I doing with the quietness in myself? Like, how am I doing by just sitting quiet for 2 minutes and not doing anything? It's a really good gauge point. Once you can sink into it and enjoy it, very different. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I didn't plan one ahead of time because I wanted to just like jam off of what we talked about. But I'm gonna lead you through a heart breath, actually.
Nice. And
it has a fancy name. But let's just say, for the purposes of this, it is the heart breath. So I'm actually going to get comfortable. I'm just sitting on my chair comfortably. I just have my feet on my little bench here, and I'm just gonna. I always like to just like move my head from side to side. If there's like any physical stuff, I'm a very physical being. I've just always been in my body. So let's drop into our body and let's take a nice inhale through our nose. And as we do, gentle inhale. And exhale, just dropping. Imagine that exhale is like weighing your body down a little bit, just like a weighted blanket of breath. So take another inhale in. And then exhale. As you exhale, imagine that breath is weighing your body down. So you're dropping into your body completely relaxed and with nothing to do. If you're just listening to this and you're moving around as you listen, that's okay. Take it in anyways. You can still do this as you move. One last inhale through the nose. And exhale all the way down into your heart center, dropping right into your heart center as you exhale. Beautiful. Imagine as though the inhale is coming in and out of the heart. And taking a nice inhale, imagine your heart center opening. And then exhale, closing and circulating that air. Inhale, imagining your heart opening. And closing. Just bringing awareness all the way down to your heart center, imagining as though it has the spaciousness to open with the inhale and close with the exhale. Imagining as though our heart is like the lungs opening and closing with the breath, rising and falling. Inhale and exhale. In and exhale. Just taking a few breaths on your own, placing your hand there if it helps. Awareness of your heart, doing the inhale and the exhale. Bringing ourselves into a space of balance, compassion, kindness, love for self. And taking this as we inhale and as we exhale. Just breathing through it. And just moving into a space of appreciation. Just appreciating yourself for stopping, appreciating yourself for slowing down, appreciating something around you. Access to clean water, cozy bed to sleep in, a warm home to be in, moving into full appreciation. Just appreciating all of those that are here joining us for this transmission, appreciation for all of our guides and spirit guides and ancestors and mentors and healers and everyone that is surrounding us in our life, supporting us, helping us rise. Full appreciation, continuing to breathe in and out through your heart center for a few more breaths. And just gently bringing your awareness back into the room, maybe wiggling your fingers, maybe wiggling your toes, maybe moving your neck, giving your face a little rub, opening your eyes. Allow that spaciousness in your heart to be there for the next few hours. As we inhaled, we opened it up and it's taking up more energetic space in our beingness now. So just go ahead and enjoy that and just trust that it's there.
Mm-hmm. That feels very good.
Just
Love the
bring the breath
openness.
into the heart. So good.
Yes. And adding in the gratitude, that always makes me feel like higher vibe. It's just like there's so much all around me in this present moment. That's incredible. And I'm so in love with it all.
So incredible. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, and let us know in the comments how that was for you. If you felt anything shift in your body, if you're feeling any different vibrations or sensations, and even if you're catching the replay, #replay, let us know how you're feeling. Feels great for me.
Yeah, it can literally be like 4 breaths that you do every morning in your bed before you get up. Wake your heart up, open up to that space, and that's enough.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very cool. So how can people connect with you after the show and get more of this goodness from you?
Yeah. Well, the best thing to do is you can find me on Facebook and friend request me. I love all cool high
Awesome.
vibe friends.
Yay.
Yeah, you can join my Facebook group. That's another great way to stay in touch. There's tons of value that I post in that group alone. It's just like a
Awesome.
sisterhood in and of itself. So that's Leanna Jane Yoga. There's a business page and then there's the group. So go ahead and join the group. It's free. Tons of value. You can always email me too at hello@leannajaneyoga.com, which is my website.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then my next round of sisterhood starts next week. It's it's super amazing. We meet every Monday night. It's 6 weeks and so much value. We're going to have guests coming in, and I also throw in my online course for free. So
very cool.
Yeah. So that's also super sweet, which you can message me for more info on that. But it's the Mindful Sisterhood.
Awesome. And can you put your other links in the comments too so that people can easily click on that afterwards?
100%. But yeah, let's be Facebook friends.
Oh, yay. And Christy said thanks. I zoned it by the end. Relaxing.
Good. That's
I love that. And Bridget said very peaceful. Awesome. Yeah, I feel in a whole different vibe now. I'm like, yay. Very cool. So thank you so much for sharing this beautiful meditation and all your wonderful wisdom with us today. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for tuning in today and for giving yourself this gift. Definitely share it with a sister that you love, that you know needs this message with her. If you don't want to just share it out publicly, you can send a private message to people. Sometimes people feel more comfortable doing that instead of being like, hey, you need this thing in your life. You can just be like,
yes.
You'd be like, hey, watch this really fun thing. Maybe you would get value from it too.
Yes, really good point. I always remind people.
Yeah, because sometimes people are like, I don't want to share it to the person's page publicly. It's like, you don't have to. You don't have to tag people publicly. Wherever they're at and wherever you're at on your journey is beautiful, and you can totally love yourself where you're at right there.
100%.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much for joining. I'm sending you guys so much love and light, and I hope you have an awesome week ahead. Bye, guys.
Bye. Namaste.